Hello everybody, good day to you. Welcome back. Glad you're here. I know I'm super glad to be here. Troy's glad to be here. Right, Troy? Say hi.
Hi.
Don't be shy, say hi. Hi everybody. Anyway, this is day 2 of this 2016 Chevrolet Tahoe. I've got the transmission back on the stand. The pan is on temporarily. There's no filter in there. We have a new replacement torque converter installed. I've got the unit back together. I put a new turbine shaft seal on it. I put a new torque converter seal in it. We checked the pump and the internals for damage. What had happened is this torque converter started to malfunction and it began to flake off pieces of metal. In the first video of this particular truck, we pulled the pan down, found a bunch of material in the pan. The magnet was loaded full of metal pieces. It had a nasty vibration at random engine speeds and engine loads. The vibration was centric to the vehicle. There's plenty of information and bulletins regarding torque converter failure on these particular units. So after disassembly, we confirmed that the vibration was caused by a failing torque converter unit. We have got the thing back together. It is savable. It is not going to need replacement or rebuilding. And in this particular video, we are going to get this thing reinstalled, bolted back in, and back on the road for a hopefully a vibration-free test drive. So stay tuned because this is going to be a very good video. Happening the hood. The last video was rather lengthy, so I'm going to do my best to expedite this one and make it not 1 hour long. Pardon the ambient noises in the background. We've got the door going in. Hooray, hooray, finally. It's been a couple months in the making, so you guys are going to hear a little bit of work in the background. But we're going to try to work past that. So let's go ahead and get this thing raised up and in position. We'll start to get it lined up. We'll get her bolted in and everything reattached and connected, and hopefully we can be on the road within the next couple of hours. Moving on up. Loud noises. All right, it's going in. We're starting to get a little bit aligned here. I need to move it forward some. We're inching it in there, making sure we're past everything. There's pinch welds on the body. We've got the cooler line assembly in the way. The sway bar is kind of in the way, but we can maneuver this right past all those obstacles. Looking good. Looking very good. I like it. Almost there. All right, moving up a little bit. What I need to do is get this dowel pin right here aligned with that hole right there. There's an identical pin on the other side of the engine, and while doing that, I also need to make sure that these little brackets do not get sandwiched in between the bell housing and the back of the engine block, because that'll cause a condition where the transmission is running sideways, and that's not going to work out for us. So I got to take care to not get that stuff smashed, make sure there's no wires in the middle, and then get all this good stuff lined up and then seated. Just kind of wiggle this in. Jack's still coming up some. Once those two pins are in line, I'll run a bolt in right here and then one more on the other side. And we'll use those first two bolts to draw this thing in and get it flush with the engine block. And once that's done, I can lower this jack down some and we can start connecting the brackets, torque converter bolts, then we can get the starter in, all that good stuff. You'll see. It's coming out. Give it a push forward. Loud noises. Oh yeah, that pin's right on the money right there. Right there. It's in right here. All right, let's get the first bolt started. Since we know that that pin is in position, we'll get that in to retain everything, and then we'll go around to the other side and then get the other bolt in. There we go. All right, so I'm coming in with a 1/4 inch wobble drive socket just to run those threads down. All right, now that pin can't come out, that's secure. Sorry for the sound. Let's go around here to the other side. And that pin is pretty close. Let's go ahead, get the bolt in it, and we'll draw this one in next. Okay, it's threading in by hand quite nicely. Good. 1/4 inch drive. Very good. Okay, now I need to reach up over the top, make sure that these brackets and harnesses are not in there. Visually, they look okay. Check that other side. And that bracket. There we go. That one was in the way. Click. Loud noises. I'm gonna wait a minute till these guys are done. All right, so I've got this bolt and the other side already run down. The trans is now flush with the back of the block. What I want to do next is reach in and I'm gonna make sure I can turn this torque converter by hand. See that? That tells me, there we go, she's moving. That tells me that nothing is binding and everything is sitting exactly where it's supposed to be. So now we're good to proceed. Since they're making a lot of noise, I'm gonna go ahead, turn this on super high speed lightning fast motion, and we're gonna get all of these bolts installed and torqued down, and we'll go back to regular real-time speed once all those bolts are secure. Oh, clickage. All right, this is one of the very top bolts, the top of the bell housing. This one houses the bracket for these fuel lines in front of us. Once the bolt is in, it's got a stud sticking out of it. I'll line that bracket up with the stud. Then there's a nut that goes over it. There we go. That one's on. Here comes that little nut. That's gonna secure that first bracket. There's a second bracket over on the driver's side. We'll get that one next. Actually, there's two brackets on the driver's side. One for the vent tubes, and then one for the transmission dipstick. Having a hard time getting that to thread. There we go. That one's on there. Here, let me just go ahead and get these torqued real quick while we're here. That one's tight. A little clickage. I ran these down with just the 1/4" driver. I didn't actually apply any torque to them just yet. Oh, hit you guys in the face twice. Once with a ratchet, once with a socket. Oops. Okay, so up top I've got that bolt torqued. This bolt is being torqued right now. I've got the one all the way at the top that's torqued, and I've got the nut for the bracket already installed. I need to tighten down the nut, then move over to the other side. There's two more brackets. One is for the dipstick tube, and the other is for a bracket just to hold on to the vent tubes that come out of the top of the trans. So we're gonna move over to that side after I torque this lower bolt right here, and we'll get that other one tight and torqued and get those brackets on, and then we're good here. All right, moving back up, the bracket is in position for the vent tube. You can see the top of the vent right there. I just need to reach up there and get this nut on that bracket and on the stud. We'll tighten down that nut, then we can move down from there. I'm gonna back this cam up. Whoa, there's that flashlight again. We can't see anything inside of here. It's all happening by feel, so let me move you guys out of the way a little bit and let me get that part done. I'll be right back. All right, making some progress and dropping my nuts. Hang on, come here. Okay, so this side over here is on. I've got the upper bracket in. The dipstick tube has been pushed in. Here's the nut that secures that dipstick tube. Let me get this guy on. Then we can run down these nuts for the brackets. That's the one for the wiring harness. There's another one over here for this bracket that bolts the fuel lines to the trans. Then I'll get that shift cable installed. These are all tight. That bracket's on. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go ahead and grab a 13 and get that thing tightened down next. As soon as we get all this stuff put back together, on the back side, I'll go ahead and get the torque converter bolts. I'll get those things on, and then we can get the starter back in, then the exhaust, and the cross member, and then the test drive. Fingers crossed. Switch out to our 10 right here. 10 wobbly. Love the wobble bit. Ring ring. Let's get that guy tight. Fuel line bracket. This one over here. That one's in. Vent hose is hooked up. Wiring harness is wiring harnessed. let's go and get the torque converter bolts next. I think I got them. Yeah, there they are. Found them. All right, let's maneuver around to the front of the starter here. It's just kind of hanging out. We can see there's our torque converter. Let me get this thing lined up with those bolt holes, and we'll start getting those 3 bolts installed. I need to fetch some thread lock here. All right, so I'm reaching up through the inspection plate on the bottom of the bell housing, and I'm rotating this torque converter. There's one of our bolts right there. Let me come on in with my nut or with my bolt. A little bit of thread lock on this thing. There we go. We'll get them all started. I cannot torque them yet. I can only kind of thread them in. If I torque them, it may misalign the holes on the other bolts, and I won't be able to get them threaded properly. So I'll have to actually do 2 rotations to get this thing together. So we got one in. Spin it around here. Move on to the next one. And once all 3 of them are threaded, we'll tighten down. All right, bolt number 2 coming in with some blue thread lock on it. Get that guy threaded in. Should be good. If it's not, I'll know real quick. Uh-oh, starter move. Now we can't see. There, no. There's that 3rd bolt hole. I found the 3rd hole. Get that one plugged up. Beautiful. Okay, a little ratchet coming in just to run these down. That one's tight. Now, the way I'm going to torque these, can you guys see? Hang on here. Let's move that thing out of the way one more time. There. Watch this here. Up a little farther. See how the socket sits at the top of the engine block? That's going to act as a stop so the crank can't turn. And now I can apply some torque with this deep wallet socket and a long ratchet. That one's tight. Let's go around to the next one. Spinning and spinning. Next one coming in. That's so kind of me. Come here, bolt. Get on my wobbly nut. Socket. Got that one. Let's get it nice and tight. Tight like a tiger? Tight like a bunch of tigers. One more half a turn, quarter-ish turn, 1/8 of 16th of a turn. There you go. That one's tight. Next, number 3. Let's finish this off. Let's spin it. It's a faux hole. It's not the one I need. There's our fastener. I see you. Right there. Nice. Let's get this one tight, and then we're good to get the starter back in position here. Yeah, a little more. Clickage. There we go. Got it. Woo-hoo. That was loud. All right, let me maneuver this starter motor back in. Put that thing back in its home. I need to get that little plastic little shield that goes in there. That's got to get set in place. This is needs to be rotated. This way. Flashlight's in the way. There we go. Silly starter. You make me want to use words I don't normally use. Broken flashlight. Yeah, that's how it goes. Now before I bolt this in, we've got to get this little plastic guy in position here. That's going to sit like so, and it has to go through the starter to the front of it. So I need to pull this back out some, sneak that in, and then put it back in some. There we go. Now we're cooking with Crisco. That's the good stuff. Okay, we've got two 13mm specialized bolts that are for the starter. Let's get these guys in and started. Now one of them came out a little rough. I remember, I don't know what that was about. See how it goes in. Seems to go in just fine. Weird. No matcher. All right, starter bolt. Click, that one's in. Number two. That one's nice and tight. Of course, I cannot neglect the bolt that holds on that little plastic shield. Let's get that in. Beautiful. Everything's tight. All right, let's get out of here. It's hot. It's super hot. Okie dokes, it is about time to get the exhaust Y pipe and converters installed. I've got a pair of new gaskets for the exhaust manifolds. That's the left side. This is the right side. I need to get these guys in position on the exhaust. We'll get the old ones peeled off of the manifolds, and then we can get this Y pipe assembly put back into position here. Let's get see if this guy's gonna come out. Come here. Yeah, some people, I mean, you can reuse these. I don't like to. I've tried to reuse them before in the past and had them leak, and I'd rather not have to take this thing out a second time. So I'm not going to reuse them. Where's that other gasket? Oh, there it is. It's still embedded in the exhaust there. We need a screwdriver. Kind of overkill, but it'll get it out of there. Pop this guy out. So this is a crush gasket, and it becomes flattened when it's tightened down. And that's usually the side that leaks. Let's get the new one in. Just kind of stick that in position there. It's slightly larger than the hole, so once you get it all the way in, it sort of just captures itself. There we go. And then this one is going to go on the manifold itself over here. Plug that guy in. Just push that in position. That's good to go. Let's get the exhaust back up here. Okay. Big exhaust Y pipe coming in. Heavy. I gotta go up and over the cross member in the back, and then we can slide it forward. There goes the flashlight. Right about, I think right here. Oh man. Woo, buddy. Okay. I'm getting the holes lined up on the studs. We'll get a couple of those nuts in, and it'll be secure, at least on this one side over here. Now it can't fall out. Okay, that's 3 nuts on this side. That one started, got it. And then 3 more over here on the other side. I'm not going to tighten those down all the way because I need to leave some space right here so I'll be able to take this pan back down and put the filter in. I have yet to install that filter. Yeah, we'll just leave that like that for now. All right, this business is staged and in position here. Let's get our cross member up, and then I can get that trans mount out of the way. We're gonna need some more altitude here. Here, let's get one of the bolts in. It doesn't fall out and hurt me. Come here. Nope, that's not gonna work for me. My order of operations is slightly skewed here. Hang on. Put the stud in. Yeah, I need to go up a little higher. All the way up. There we go. That should be sufficient to at least get a couple bolts started. I'll get the pole jack in here in a minute and raise that up a little higher. Nothing's lining up. All right, that's one bolt in. Yeah, I'm gonna need my pole jack. Let me grab that thing. This blue transmission jack does not have the lift that I require, but the pole jack does. So, screw this guy in. Run the tail shaft up a little bit higher here. Moving on up. Don't fall off there. What are you doing? There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Right about like so. A little more. Come on, bolt. And there's frame wax on me. I don't like frame wax. Okay, let's get that one through. Let's get a nut on it. That's not going anywhere. Get that other side through. Or not. What are you stuck on? Here. Clean up this area some. I'm gonna get this blue trans jack disconnected. We'll roll that out of the way. Get our ratchet strap removed. All right, coming down. Very much in the way. Put that over yonder. That's good. All right, next big bolt. See if I can't get that one started. I've got these on the wrong side, don't I? Sure do. Who knew? Here, let's untangle this mess here I've got going on. Doing it all wrong. Kinda. Halfway all wrong. What I'm gonna do, bring this pole jack down, set it up right here, take the pressure off that bolt, then I can flip it around. These ones came in from that side. These ones came in from this side, I think. Or I got it backwards. I mean, in the long term of things, it kind of doesn't really matter. But I'm just gonna put it back the way it goes. So there's one. That one's through. There. Good. I think that's right. I'm not gonna go back and check the camera. In fact, you know what? I'm just gonna put them all in with the bolts facing backwards, because that's the way that they are and that's the way that they're gonna stay. Don't need to overcomplicate this farther than I already have, I guess. Plus, I don't have all day. I got stuff to do. And it's been a busy day and I'm drastically behind schedule. You recall earlier I said give me a couple hours, we'll have this back together. It's been like 5 hours. We were doing garage door stuff and then the Snap-on guy came over. Then Troy went to lunch. I'm distracted heavily. Okay, so now that that strap's out of the way, I want to get the shifter cable back in. It's going to snap into place, and then over here, I need to just bolt it on. There we go. Got the nut right here. Thread that guy on, hit that with a 1/4 inch impact, and we're good. All right, loud noise this time. Let me get this thing bolted in. So powerful. Click. Yeah, that's 2 over here. Let's get those other 2 on that side. See why I did this kind of bass backwards? It gives more space for the gun. Down there. Come here. Got it. Good. Let's see, this guy, that gets mounted right there. Click that in, good to go. And we've got 1 nut right here that secures the trans mount to the cross member. Let's get that thing in next. Okay, we got a nut, 15 mil extension. The threads are all the way up here, so we can't reach it by hand. I gotta kind of feel for it. There we go. Trans mount now secure. Moving on. Alrighty, next up, what I want to do before we bolt this exhaust on, we're gonna let the truck down so I can sit in a chair. We need to pull the pan back off 1 more time, throw the filter in there, and then we'll finish up with the exhaust and get the rest of it all bolted together. Coming down off the locks, Tahoe slightly coming down here. Make sure we don't get stuck on holes or anything. That was loud. A little more, a little more, a little more. That's perfect. Okay, I've only got 3 bolts holding this pan in, so she's gonna come out very nice and easily like. Pull these guys down. Look at that, no fluid dumping everywhere. Hooray! That's great. All right, replacement transmission filter on its way in. We just push that guy up. Get in there. Beautiful. Hands coming back in next. And no, I'm not putting a new gasket on this pan. This gasket is resealable or reusable, and it's better than any of the replacement rubber or cork gaskets that we may find in the aftermarket. I always like to reuse the factory if it's a reusable gasket. If it's not, then, well, you don't reuse it, but these ones are, so I will. All right, let's go ahead and get the rest of these bolts threaded and then tightened down so we may move on. Next, after this pan goes in, we'll get this thermostatic valve in. Again, I mentioned earlier, I do have a replacement on the way for that. There's been a TSB on it. However, it's in New Mexico, so I'll have to do that later. Thank you, darling. See that? Need to wipe. I hit them in the face with fluid. I gotta wipe them down. Make the audience nice and shiny. Here you go. Thank you. Hey, you guys.
Hey, you guys.
Hey, I didn't put my mouth over this one.
Yes, did.
You put your mouth on my soda?
Yeah.
Why'd you do that?
He like took the lid and was just like,
I found a phone in it.
I'm putting that on the internet. Just so you know. You better not, don't be messing with my food, man.
You got my boyfriend hitting on old ladies and stuff.
Good, you should be thankful.
No.
You should be thankful he's got the game to.
I should not, no.
Oh, you stop being jealous.
I will hunt down that old lady.
Don't be doing none of that.
And I will pull her.
Yeah, but then you go to jail.
I don't.
You should.
That's if they catch me.
They'll catch you. The local investigative department is very good at their job.
You
youngins fighting over girls. They're funny. All right, I'm short a couple bolts here. 1, 2 over there. I'm short 2 bolts. 3 bolts, let me find them. Be right back. Oh, they weren't even far at all. They were right next to me. I'm not short any bolts, so I stand corrected. That one's going in. 1 more over here. Oh, bolt gravity, that one's down. Dropped it. No worries, it's on my shoe. There we go. Uno más. All right, good to go. Okie dokes, let's look left ever so slightly and up. I'm gonna go ahead and get the valve back onto the trans. It just plugs in, the gasket's right there. And it's got one 13mm fastener that secures the block to the bell housing. There we go. Let me make this one tight real quick. Clickage. All right, we are in the home stretch. Time to get this other manifold flange in position. We'll get the nuts on, tighten down the exhaust, then we can get this thing refilled and back on the road for our finalized test drive. There's one of my nuts. Put that one on. Almost there, I cannot wait. I'm excited. I'm excited to see if I broke this transmission or if I fixed it. Okay, that's 2 nuts. Here's our 3rd one. That's on the top, a little harder to reach. There we go. Socket coming in. Let's get this thing drawn down. Good. Yes, fortunately for me, these exhaust bolts were not rusted to oblivion. It's quite common. That one's in. A little tighter. More. Get that one tightened a little bit. It's crushing the donut gasket right now. That one's getting tight. Clicks. That one generated its own clicks. Good. Self-clicking fasteners. Oh, a little more. That one slipped. A little more. Come on. Almost. There we go. Those are all nice and tight like. A little more on this one. Yeah, buddy. Okay. Get noodle arm too. All right, let's move on over to the passenger side. 3 more nuts, and then we can toss the drive shaft in and then get that last clamp on the exhaust put together, and we're done down here. All right, coming in, wobbly socket, 15mm in action. Get on there. Get all the way on there. Yeah. A 1, a 2. There we go. Oh, beautimous. Okay, we need to put the plate back on that inspection hole right there. I know that was bothering you guys. That's on. This needs to get clipped back in, and then 1 more bolt right here to tighten up. Get in there. Get in there. Click. There we go. All right, drive shaft time. Let's get out of this dungeon right here and back it up some. We got a shaft installed, bolted on to the axle. That is next. Drive shaft coming in. taking care to not pinch that seal. There we go. Slide that in. And then back in position. There you go. Right here on our axle. Beautiful. That's it. Couple straps here. Uh-oh. It's too far in. Gotta back it out some. There we go. Okay, bolt number 2. Let's get that one out and started. Still too far in. There. Whoa, don't fall out, shaft. Hang on here. That's not what we're trying to do. There. 11 millimeter. There we go. And I'll get that other side installed real quick as well. Don't hurt yourself. Are you a ninja? Troy's being a ninja. He's jumping over stuff. Good, he's having fun. Fun is good. This job's hard. More. All right, this is gonna take a while. I'll be back when this is all tight and stuff. Stay right here, don't go anywhere. Almost there. Getting muscle fatigue in the forearms. Repetitive motion. And last bolt clickage. Actually, that was more like slippage. There, all right. That's tight. Drive shaft is in. Let's do a recap real quick. Drive shaft is in. Transmission is in. Transmission mount is mounted. Cross members bolted on. Vent lines are venting. Exhaust is bolted in. Transmission cooler lines are installed. Bell housing's bolted on. Brackets are bracketing. O2 sensors have been plugged in. I did that when you guys weren't looking. See? So we are good to go. Let's go ahead and let this thing down, fill it up full of fluid, start things the engine, and see if it's gonna move. Maybe it will, or maybe I broke it. And I hope I didn't broke it. Because if I did break it, I gotta do it again, and I don't want to. All right, again, Tahoe, coming down, all the way down. The jacks are clear, the stool is clear, the tools are clear. Let's get back under the hood, refill this unit, and then start things the engine. Can't wait. Let's pull our dipping stick back out. We don't need that. We'll get the funnel in there and fill this guy up. Funnel coming in. Get that guy right there. Beginning refilling procedure now. Okie dokes. Got some fluid coming in. It happens to be the LV fluid that is used on the shutter concern that was a TSB on the Silverados with this particular transmission. And it meets and exceeds all the GM requirements. And I figured since this is what we used at the dealer, I was gonna use it this time. I'm not sure what makes it so special. It is a high performance fluid according to Mobile One, and the GM engine nerds say that this is what you're supposed to use if you have shutter concerns or torque converter problems or vibrations, so that's what we're gonna use. Got a case of the good stuff. It's all the good stuff. I don't buy cheap stuff. Because quality doesn't cost, it pays. I'd rather buy once than cry once. There we go. Okay, the preliminary fill has been completed. Let's get a quick measurement on the dipping stick here and see where we sit. If it's high, no worries, because the torque converter is not all the way full yet. Yeah, the dipstick tube is still full. Let me let this drain out some, and then we'll recheck it in a moment. Okay, I've waited about 15 minutes. That should be plenty of time for the fluid to drain down out of that dipstick tube. Let's recheck fluid level, and then we may go stopping the engine. Let's see what we got here. We're right down below the cold mark, so it's a little low. Showing on the dipstick. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna head into the cabin, fire this thing up. You guys wait right here. Going in. Okay, engine is running. Let's see what we've got here for some fluid level. You see some smoke coming up. That's just from whatever oil was on the exhaust that I sprayed. As that exhaust heats up, that is of no matter. And we're low on our stick. Okay. All right, let me shut this down. We're gonna add some more fluid to it, and we'll go from there. All right, additional fluid has been added. Let's give this thing the restart procedure here. Starting the engine. Can't reach. There we go. Very good. Let's get over here and recheck that level one more time. Pull that guy out of the way. Re-wipe our dipping stick down in the hole. In there. And it's in the tube. Okay. We're gonna have to wait. Next recheck. It's been about 2 minutes. There's fluid on the stick with it running, so it's not super low. Yeah, it's pretty low. Okay. More fluid. Plug, plug. Very good. And I'll wait and recheck. Be right back. Did another recheck. It's still a little low. Coming in with another half a quart. I'm gonna sit here and let this thing idle. It was just below the cold mark. I'm gonna let it idle, come up to temp, and then we're gonna go out and hit the road. While that thing settles, let's go inside and see if it has any gears. Let's move it through reverse. We'll back it up some. We'll move it through forward, see if it goes forward some. We can check for our warning illuminators to be illuminated, which it appears they are not. So the message we have is the hood is open. Here we go. Okay, is it gonna move? Reverse. Put off the brake, and we're moving. All right, it's working-ish so far. Forward, and we have forward. Beautiful. This is good so far. Oh, I almost ran over Troy. What are you doing running behind moving cars?
Howie.
Danger, sir. I don't want to run you over. I like you. Okay, let's go ahead and park this thing. We'll let it hang out here for a little while, let the fluid level stabilize, and then I'll recheck it, and we can hit the road and see how she shits. Fingers crossed, fellas. Fingers crossed. Okay, do one recheck before we go out for the test drive. Let's get our goodies out of here. Drop light gone, funnel gone, and dipstick going back in. Trans has warmed up slightly. It's not at full temp yet. Pop this guy out, and our mark is right here just above the cold line. So let's go out, hit the road, put it through some gears, and then we'll come back and do a finalized recheck after we determine whether or not that vibration is gone or not. Okay, back this up. Light's coming with me. Let's get rid of our debris over here. We don't need that. Wipe off the forensic evidence. We don't need that. Good to go. Wunderbar. All right, let me go wash up and then we're gonna go for a ride. All right, hand washing procedure complete. Let's get this thing out on the road. Troy, I'll be back. Okay, right here. Okay, click it or ticket. That's what they say. Seat belts for safety. Backing up. Oh, I let the car down and cleared the rack when you guys weren't looking. Beep beep. Bzz. My seat is buzzing because the object detection system is detecting objects like the door and the trash can. All right, well, it's still moving. Good. So I'm sure it goes without saying, but I don't hear any goofy noises right now. No rattles, no vibrations. Knock on wood, so far so good. It accelerates. Wonderful. We grab that gate. And the parking pole still sets, that's good. Man, I set my seat belt up and forgot I had to open the gate. What's wrong with me? All right, here we go. So we're gonna take the same route. We're gonna go out over the bridge, get on the bigger road, and get some speed up with this thing and see how she does. Nice. So far, so good, fellas. All right, traffic's clear. Headed up the bridge. Second gear. All right, we're going. We're shifting. I like it. Nice smooth shift. All right. Let's just roll along and see if we feel any vibrations. We're gonna go to the same route that we went the first time, ride a couple miles, and we'll head on back. We're on a steady, no brake deceleration real quick. I just want to see how it downshifts. Okay, we just pulled off real quick to the side. The downshifts were nice and smooth. It's a low populated road. Let's bring it to a complete stop. Okay. So far so good. Feels pretty good to me. I like it. All right, folks, we've ridden along a couple of miles. We're in the same area and same driving conditions as when the vibration had originally showed up, and we are not feeling that central vibration in the vehicle. Whoa, guy, what's wrong with you, moron? Anyway, I'm over here gonna do my U-turn, and we're going to head back to the shop. So far, this thing is feeling pretty good. I need to hook the scan tool up when I get back, check for trouble codes and whatnot, just make sure there's nothing going on that I've overlooked. And we're gonna go from there. I've got to recheck the fluid level, and I do believe this thing is good to go. So that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and close this video out right now, and I will do that as always by thanking each and every one of you for watching this video. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, please feel free to let me know about that by tapping that like button down below. Drop me a comment or two while you're down there. What is this guy drunk? And most importantly, don't forget to have yourselves a great day. See you guys later. End of video. In a Tahoe, in a transmission, no pun intended. See you later.